In this first video, I'm going to walk you through the first two steps of solving the practice problem for units 3 and 4. The second video, I'm going to walk you through the second two steps. The first two steps are 1, understand the problem, and 2, program it to the developing level. So that's what this video is going to cover. First, to find the problem, it's in our wonderful Google Classroom, under Classwork, under Assessment Lab for Unit 3 and 4, it's the practice problem. Depending on when you're viewing this video, it's either the only one or at the bottom of the stream, and the assessment stuff is above it. So the first step is really tough. It's reading through the problem, which I know is really tough. A lot of people pick on the APCSA test for a lot of reasons, but one of them is they say it's really a reading test with a little bit of Java. So you have to do a lot of reading when you take the APCSA exam. So these rules of the challenge are the same rules that have been on all of our challenge, just they basically outline that you are allowed to code it and run it through Replit, but you're not allowed to go to like Stack Overflow and ask, hey, how do I play Buzz Bang Boom? When I see the problem, the first thing I notice is it's a little odd that the Z is capitalized, the G is capitalized, and the M is capitalized. It's a pandemic and times are crazy, so it's possible it's a typo, but I'm going to keep that in mind because it's kind of odd. It asked me to write a program that would output the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, Z, 6, 7, 8, 9, Z, 11, 12, 13, 14, Z. That's kind of weird, and it goes all the way through, and like every fifth spot has a Z. That's odd. For the proficient challenge, it looks like it has a G, a Z, and an M, and it seems to go for like 10 places and then loop 10 places. Okay, and then there's like 3 rows with like 10 either letters or characters in each, so that all numbers divisible by 5 are replaced with a Z, i.e. the Z in Buzz. Okay, all the numbers divisible by 3 are replaced with a G. Oh, I get it. Buzz, bang, boom. Okay, and all the numbers divisible by 7 are replaced with an M. So let's see if that's kind of what this is doing. 1, 2, G, 3, okay, 4, 5, Z, 6 is divisible by 3, 7 is divisible by 7, I see, 8, 9 divisible by 3. Oh, this is kind of interesting, but what happens like for 15 when it's divisible by multiple things? Like 30 is multiple things too. It can be either one. Okay, so whichever one it happens to be, that's fine when there's multiples. Like 15 is divisible by 5 and by 3. So which one is it? This one, it's a Z, but this line here says it doesn't matter what it is. Oh, that's kind of a friendly reminder how divisibility works. So that's good to know. Or I could use the modulus operator to handle divisibility. Okay. Oh, if they gave me some starter code. So now I think I understand the problem, and I'm going to just start by, can I get to 30? So that sounds like a classic for loop when there's a set amount of thing I'm going for, and in this case 30. So it looks like it sets some variables like max 30, column. Oh, that's probably the number of numbers in the column, and then the number of rows is the max divided by the columns, which if it was 31, it would only go to 30 apparently. It would only make 3 rows apparently. Okay, so that's all good to know. That code is there. I'm going to steal that starter code. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to Buzz. I'm going to go to Replit. I'm going to delete out their code. I'm going to paste down the code provided by the sample problem, and I'm going to run it and see what happens. Boring, nothing happens. Just to make sure it's working, I'm going to throw system out. Just make sure it's going. Okay, it is. Now let's just try to get the numbers to appear on the screen, and I'm going to, because I know how many times it's going to run, in this case max, I'm going to write a classic for loop. And I'm going to, 0, I less than, and I'll start with the number 30, although I could replace it with that max variable, and I++. And then in this loop, I'm going to system out a current number. I could do I, but when I do that, it kind of goes 0 to 30. Oh, I want them all on one line like they did. Oh, now it's jumbled, so I might want to add a space. So there's kind of my 1 through 30. It's actually 0 through 29, and it gives me a num here, so maybe there's a reason for that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace this with the n, and then I'm gonna also, in this case, just manually iterate it. With num. There are a couple different ways to handle this too. You could also change this to 1 to max plus 1. You could change this to 31 and then 1 to max. All kinds of different ways to handle it, but I'm going to handle it this way. And now I have my 1 through 30. I now want to see if I can replace the multiples of 5, which is the z, with that with the num. So this is a classic case of if. So if, and I'm going to use the modulus. So if the num modulus the buzz, weird capital Z, is equal to 0. Notice it's not equal because that's assignment. Then I'm going to system out a Z with a space. Else, I'm going to system out the number with a space. So it's either going to be a Z with a space or a number with a space, depending on if it's a multiple of 5, which is also the buzz. So let's see how that works. 1, 2, 3, 4, Z. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I could also replace this 30 with the variable max, because then I could change this. And now I'm going 1 through 40, for example, and it's still continuing the pattern, just to maximize my use of variables, which means the program will be more flexible because I can just change the variables without having to change things within the code itself, or in that part of the code. Okay, so this is the first part of the challenge, understanding the problem and programming the first part of the solution. I'm going to stop here in this video, and then in the second video we'll do the other parts.